Welcome to Scorched Earth and a general mid-month reading for the sign of Cancer, Sun, Moon or Ascendant for the last 2 weeks of July. Happy birthday to you all. It's Cancer season, and I hope it's been good to you. Right. If you haven't seen these readings before, I structure them slightly differently to the main monthly readings, in so much as we are looking for the lessons. So I think that there's wisdom, maybe a lesson contained in every experience that we have, and it can be much easier to navigate difficult, challenging energies if we can work out why we're there in the first place. It's an exercise in perspective more than anything else. So to that end, what I would do is pull 3 cards for your current energy, see where you are right now, and then we'll pull 3 cards and ask why. Why are we here right now? Sometimes it's teaching you something about yourself. Sometimes it's about a situation that you're in. You know, sometimes it's about releasing things, bringing more things in. I won't know until the cards hit the table. That's what we're going to do anyway. And we'll close it out with 3 cards of advice. So I hope that makes sense. And we will begin. Can I have 3 cards for Cancer, please? Wow, that one flew out. We've got the King of Swords, Aquarius energy. Ooh, we have 2 come out together. 9 of Pentacles and the 10 of Cups. That's nice. I like that. I'll get one more. Wheel of Fortune. Wow. Okay, this is huge. Cancer, it actually feels really, really big. And your readings have been that way for a little while now. Actually, we have the 6 of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck, with the Fool directly underneath it. And I think that this is really important too, because the 6 of Pentacles is all about reciprocity, right? And we have the standard depiction of someone who is obviously in need being kind of, given a coin there by somebody who is presumably in a position to be able to do it. But do you know what? This card rankles with me quite a lot, quite often, because this chap's got a huge money bag, and it's kind of very ostentatiously displayed, you know. So this man's giving a singular coin to somebody in need, but he has so much more to give, and he's kind of holding it back. Now, the reason that I think that this is important for you is because of the breakthrough that you've had, Cancer, with relationships specifically, and with the Fool underneath it. I don't think that you're doing anything the way that you used to do it, right? Now, obviously, we're talking about things like codependency. We're talking about you doing all the heavy lifting in every single relationship that you have, whether it's romantic or otherwise. And what we have a notion here of is that you aren't this person, right? You don't have to put up with all sorts of crap from other people. You don't need to be really forgiving of other people when they are breadcrumbing you things, because actually you bring a lot to this situation too, you know? You really do. And the Fool is the liberation from the need to do all of the work all of the time. Now, what we've got here is absolutely fascinating, and I love it for you. I really do, because we start off with the King of Swords. The King of Swords is very much about seeing things clearly. It's about often being able to express things clearly. But if you have a look, he's got this illuminated light right at the top of his head now. It's like a light has gone on in you, Cancer, and now you have worked all of these things out. You can't see the world the same way. You are not showing up in the world in the same way, because I think that you've been working on this to such a degree now that perhaps the nature of every single relationship that you have has changed now, and not before time, I think. Because the 9 of Pentacles is the card of the individual, right? It's all about, well, particularly with the Pentacles, how you marshal your own resources. So where we might see the Devil, perhaps indicating toxicity and codependence and needing other people to validate you and stuff like that, very restrictive, very dependent on other people. The 9 of Pentacles is all about self-sufficiency, independence. It is kind of the polar opposite of that energy. And because I see the Pentacles cards as energetic currency, And then the 9 is all about the individual. It's about where you are putting your effort. Are you putting it into relationships that don't deserve the amount of effort that you put into? No more. That's not happening. You're putting your effort, in fact, into yourself. And that is an incredibly liberating thing to have happen to you, particularly after, you know, possibly years of codependent behaviour. Because I know I say it every reading, but by far and away, Cancer seems to be the sign that has been plagued with a narcissistic parent, usually a narcissistic mother, and all of the issues that come thereafter. You know, all of the ways that you see the world, the way that you relate to the world, the way that you feel like you have to be in order to be worthy of somebody's time, care, attention, effort, all of these things, you know. And it's always about giving. It's always about giving to somebody else. It's always about being made to work hard for any kind of attention or validation or anything. And you know what? It's fucking draining. And this is the chapter that you have closed here, Cancer. And now it's all about you, right? But interestingly, we also have the 10 of Cups here. Now, if the 9 is the individual, then the 10 for me is the collective. It's also a card of completion. It's a card of having achieved that cycle that runs from the Ace to the 10, you know? And what we've got here is you showing up in relationships, like I said, whether they are romantic or familial or whether they're friends, whatever, you know, you showing up like this and being able to get much more of this emotional fulfillment of a collective of more than one than you've ever experienced before. Now, you may be with someone, you may not be with someone, but what is incredibly obvious is that dynamics have changed. Now, you might have lost a few people over the way, you know, over the course of these insights that you've been getting. But I always feel like boundaries are a wicked shibboleth for working out who's supposed to be there and who's not. Because the only people who really have an issue with you erecting boundaries are the ones that benefited from you having none. And it seems to me that the people that you are surrounded with now are far more healthy for you than any of the people that you would have counted as your tribe up until this point. And it feels like actually you've probably been getting, you know, insight after insight after insight, and it's almost like every new interaction that you have, you're seeing something else. There's something more coming to the table. And every time this happens, it's helping this lesson along over and over again. It's showing you not only a new way to do things, but it's confirming for you every single step of the way that this is how it needs to go now. This is how you need to be, you know. It's less about other people, but it seems to me that the people that are around you at the moment are far more of a 9 of Pentacles kind of ilk than ever. 6 of Pentacles. It's a new cycle that has started for you. And this Wheel of Fortune here is very clearly indicating to me that this is something really, really big that you needed to learn. Now, it almost actually destroys the point of of the reading. Hang on, let me pull one more card for that. In so much as we can see exactly why you're in this energy at the moment. Tell me about the Wheel of Fortune, please. Thank you. Wow. That's beautiful. We've got the Page of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck, indicative of not only a new start but newly discovering the value of something. And here, Cancer, you are discovering the value of yourself, and more than that, showing up, the value of showing up as yourself within relationships, right? Not a proxy, not what you think other people want from you. You know, not kind of fashioning yourself to be what somebody else needs, but just showing up unapologetically as you. 100 times more emotionally fulfilling. Then we have this Aquarius card of the Star again, and the Ace of Pentacles. And I love the fact that we've got these big, yellow shapes up in the sky here, because although I can see that they're totally different shapes, but there's an alignment of them, right? You are starting again, for sure. Having learned how to marshal your own resources, knowing where it's important to put them, and that's first and foremost into you, it's kind of freeing you up for new opportunities. And it could be that there is something that you have been wishing for, Cancer, that's coming in for you, and that's coming in hot by the look of this. But I think that you know that you've manifested it. Right? It's yet another confirmation of the way that you are doing things now being better for you than the way that you were doing them before. And as I was saying, there's this correlation between these two big yellow things in the sky. Like, these are hopes and dreams and wishes. This is also healing of sorts, right? And then we've got new opportunities firing in at a rate of knots for you. Now, tell me why Cancer is in this energy. That's astounding. I love it. So we have the Empress, Taurian energy, sometimes Libra, but for me, mostly Taurus. The Two of Wands and the King of Wands. That's Leo energy right there. I love this for you, Cancer, because this is all about abundance. It's about your personal abundance in whatever way that relates for you. So, I mean, it could be financial abundance, but I mean, that's a very flat, very 3D thing, and it doesn't really mean anything more. It is about true appreciation of abundance as it exists around you. Now, it seems to me that your personal relationships of whatever sort are a source of incredible abundance for you now, right? And like I said, it seems like everything about your energy at the moment is in receipt of confirmation that just everything is just better now, right? I mean, it might be that nothing has changed on the face of it. There might be slightly fewer people in your immediate environment, in your inner circle for now. But there's a true sense of gratitude for what you do have and what you can have in the future, because this Empress is pregnant. Right? She's depicted as pregnant here. There's something gestating, birthing here. And we know what it is. It is, the new version of Cancer that you are. The new way that you are experiencing life and all of the abundance that it has to bring to you. But we also have this crossroads energy here of the Two of Wands, and it feels like you're in a state here of increasing empowerment, like I said, as the universe is step by step validating every step that you are taking and going, yes, you are on the right path. It's like a spiritual cheerleading team, just like standing on the edges and going, yes, this is it, this is right. And you're kind of like, well, what do I want? What do I want in the future? Like, you're not the only sign to be presented with this idea of now you see things differently. Now you are different. What do you want? Because it could be that your values have changed somewhat, and where maybe you were working really, really hard, maybe actually in a job, working really, really hard, turning yourself inside out, trying to be successful. Now that you're looking at things differently, you're like, well, actually success means something slightly different to me now. Success to me means having not only enough money to pay my bills, but having time for me to go and have a life outside of that, to spend time with my children, to spend time with my friends, Maybe for you it's just the ability to be able to find some time to sit down and read a book. I know that's my definition of success at the moment, right? But it's this kind of, it's getting ready to move in a particular direction. Right? And it could be that the direction that you are about to move in is in the direction of a new opportunity that you have brought about for yourself. And I do feel very strongly like you brought it about for yourself. Or it could just be like, how do I want things to be different? Like, I've changed all of these things that are really intrinsic to me, and now I want my external world to reflect my internal world. Yeah. Because we've got the King of Wands there. right? Not only very much concerned with living in the here and now and really living, Cancer, not just kind of like crawling from one thing to another on your hands and knees and going, oh God, right, you know, more effort, more work, more turning inside out, right? It's about kind of holding your energy within you and going, right, I really want to explode off in a particular direction. What am I going to do? Because it's all about the doing here. You're not quite doing it yet, but you're getting ready to do it. And before you do it, you need to know which direction you're going. Right? It's literally peering off into the distance there. What is the nature of the abundance that I wish to bring towards me? Is it more of what I've already got? Quite likely. So how do I do that? Right? All of this screams empowerment to me, because you feel like you're more in control of your life now than you ever have been. And after spending some time being all like, wait, cool, like I have control of myself now. I'm not a reactive creature anymore. It's like I am active rather than reactive. Then the sky's the limit. So what am I going to bring in for myself? What am I going to do? Tell me about, give me some advice, please. Ooh, for Cancer, thank you. Advice for Cancer. Yeah. This is nice. I like this a lot. We've got the Page of Swords, we've got the Eight of Cups, and we've got the Eight of Pentacles. And I think it's clear here that the work isn't yet complete, right? And it never is, and you should know that. It's not like we get to a single point and then we go, right, I don't actually have to do any more self-work for the rest of my life now. I am sorted. Like, it's a constant evolving process, and the more you do, the more you see that there is to do. It's like anything, when you start to, you know, when you start off as a beginner, it's like, God, oh, you know, right, so let me use the example of kickboxing, right? When I started kickboxing, I couldn't do a single press up on my knees, couldn't do a single one. Burning pain here, my arms were really weak. And actually all I wanted for such a long time was to be able to effect one really good, clean press up, right? And as time progressed and I got to the point where I could do one, suddenly I didn't want to do one anymore. I wanted to be able to do 10, right? Because it was like, well, I can do one, but that's a bit shit, isn't it? You know, and you're constantly moving towards, and as you hit your goals, you kind of move it sideways a little bit. Fitness is a really good thing, because I don't think anybody ever really gets as fit as they would like to be. Like, at the moment, I feel really, really, like, disgustingly unfit. To the point where I was kind of getting all angsty about it. And then, as my partner pointed out, you're not unfit at all. You're just not nearly as fit as you used to be. And I was like, oh, right, okay. And I think if I got back to the point of fitness where I was, I wouldn't be content there, because I'd be pushing the goalposts out again and being all like, actually, I need to be able to do that. I need to be able to do 20 pull-ups from a dead hang, you know, something like that. Which would be nice, because I kind of topped out at 6 was my limit at one point. Anyway. It's not the point that I'm making. The point that I'm making is the work is never done. And as you do, you know, as you deal with the obvious stuff, then the more nuanced stuff starts to come to the surface, and you build up this toolkit of being able to deal with things such that you're like, oh, well, look at that thing there, I need to deal with that. You know, it's a constant evolution. But we've got the Page of Swords here. It's like, keep your eye turned towards the light. Keep your eye turned to your hopes, to your dreams, to your wishes. I don't know what this light is up here, but it looks like a star to me. The Page of Swords is all about expansive thinking. It's about pushing the boundaries further and further out, the limitations further and further out of your thinking. Whatever you want, you can bring in for yourself, Cancer. And this is a really good time to use this energy to decide, you know, what you want to start with the next year. What do you want this next year to hold for you? Where do you want to be this time next year? Because there are some more things to be left behind. We know this. We've got the Eight of Cups here. It could well be that in the foreseeable future, and certainly within the course of the next year, there are far more things that you're going to be leaving behind than you currently realise. You know, as your limitations start to fall by the way, as you start to really focus in on this, and she is looking up at it, she's staring directly at it. What does this contain for you? I'm going to have to clear some more stuff out. But you can start the building process now, right? Journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step and all of that, right? You're at the point where you're about to start stepping. With this King of Wands, you're about to start doing that. But with the Two of Wands, it's like, make sure you know where it is that you're wanting to end up first, so that you don't end up just ambling. Yeah? Or that you can amble if you like. One of my favourite quotes, I've got loads of favourite quotes actually, but one of them is not all who wander are lost. And I've been a wanderer for quite a long time. So yeah, sometimes ambling is good. But this dude here, he's focusing on building the wall, he's focusing on doing, the kind of grunt work that is going to give him the result that he wants. And in the process, he's becoming a master at what he does. You, Cancer, are becoming a master of your own emotions, which is exactly as you should be, In the court hierarchy, Cancer is the Queen of Cups. That's a position of some strength right there. And it seems to me now that you have discovered your own value, discovered the value of you showing up as you actually are in relationships as opposed to what you think people actually want. It's gloriously empowering, and you can only get better and better and better at this, and particularly if you keep that front and center. Right, Cancer, I'm going to leave it there. I'm really excited for you though. I know that I love you all very, very much, and I will see you soon.